Welcome back. You are listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 29. We are in patch 6.0.3. I am your Warlock host, Belle. This week, not a whole lot of World of Warcraft news outside of Blizzcon coverage, which we are going to give some of the highlights from some of the areas of Blizzcon. What we're going to do with this episode is this is going to be a special episode. In addition to your Blizzcon highlights, we're going to talk about Miss Pandaria. We're going to give the highs, the lows, our renditions of how the gameplay has been through the length of the expansion. We're going to really do a good tribute and say goodbye to Miss Pandaria as we enter into a new era of going through the Dark Portal and battling for Azeroth through the beating the Iron Horde. This week, we are down Spamberger. We're not sure where he is. We started the recording 40 minutes late, so unfortunately we couldn't wait around for him to join anymore. We're sorry about that because we always miss Spam when he's not on the show. But we did bring a replacement, which nobody could ever replace Spam, but we did bring a body filler, as it were.
Body filler.
Which
Yeah.
we're pretty excited about who's on the show because we've finally been able to work out having, he is an admin for Pwnecast, and he is also my husband. This is Admin Dark, so everybody say hi to Dark. We have the kids tied up in the closet, which is how we were able to make this happen. Essentially, I mean, I guess I'm not supposed to say that when it's being recorded.
Bound and gagged. Bound and gagged.
My bad. We also do, of course, I always make sure that I bring the Riders of Rohan with me because without the Riders of Rohan, I would be sad and lonely. I did bring the Mage who has SubZero tattooed on his butt for his.
It was a crazy day with that party. No, that is one thing I should probably do if I ever did the role play. And I'll be like, yeah, back in 1982, me and SubZero had a party. I got his picture tattooed on my butt. You want to see?
They went all night.
Yeah. So doing great. It's awesome. Awesome to be back. Still waiting still waiting on Mop. Oh my gosh. And then I guess I have to say, come WOD, I'm going to be very happy, ready to play, very excited. Yeah, I'm waiting. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock.
Waiting for WOD for sure. I also did bring the Death Knight who dropped soup into his beard.
Nice.
Like him. For those of you that were on the Twitch stream with us the last 2 days, you would have noticed that he was eating soup and it kept going into his beard, which is why it's funny. What's up, Lycan?
I think I went through a half a pack of napkins while trying to eat that soup off screen. As I was sitting there eating it. Nothing. Belle and I, for those of you who don't know, too, we did almost 24 hours of streaming within the last 2 days. So it's been a long ride, and I've been glued in front of my desk for those 2 days, and I'm sure she's going to get ready to get tired of seeing my face after the last 2 days, but it's been fun. BlizzCon was a blast. Next year we will be there in person, but this year the virtual ticket will have to do.
We will be there in person. I'm really super excited about that. Let's get right into the news so that we can get into the meat and potatoes of what's going to happen with the show. So BlizzCon. Everything is going to be about BlizzCon for the next 5 or 10 minutes. We did... some of us did purchase the virtual ticket. We did do a stream covering the highlights of that for those that did not have the virtual ticket. A few things we're a little disappointed in, which we'll dive into that. We're actually going to talk about the movie first. They did do the Warcraft movie panel. With the Warcraft movie panel, they did bring the star of who's playing Orgrim, and they had guys out there that were dressed as Stormwind guards, props. I mean, it was really, really legit the way that Blizzard did do this, although we were all expecting to see some type of cinematic, maybe behind the scenes. We did not. We were very disappointed in that. We did get to see all of the actors that were playing the various different characters, which was really nice. Now we have a visual of what's going to happen. The movie is being released March 2016. The only thing, I think we figured out that there was a booth, a little theater booth, where the people that were actually physically at BlizzCon were able to see, I want to say it was a 30-second little cutscene. Not sure how they did it, but they did get to have a little sneak peek of the movie. But let's talk about that. What did you guys think of what we did see with the movie panel?
I'll start. I thought the movie panel was awesome. I really like the. I think the actors they have lined up with the characters were definitely fitting. For example, what was his name? The one that playing Orgrim. Forgive me, I gotta find his name now. He came out and he did a show on stage of how he walked and how he was able to actually show the walk that he did with Orgrim. And I think he nailed it. He looked like an orc. His body functions were, his body motions were perfect. Very disappointed though. We did not see the cinematic, or even I would have been happy with a teaser. But yeah, the actors are pretty cool. I mean, we've got some people you may not have heard of, but some people you have. Ben Foster, Toby Kebbell, Travis Fimmel. These are some of the big ones that are out there. But yeah,
who's Ben Foster playing? Tell them who Ben Foster is playing.
Ben Foster is playing Medivh.
We talked about this on the Twitch, and let me tell you why I'm excited about this. Ben Foster has played a lot of dark roles. His very first role on TV was in a teenage show on Nickelodeon way back in the day. It was called Fast Forward. Since then, he's been playing a lot of dark characters. He's always the crazy psycho, the serial killer. He plays these really deep, haunted, these inner demon characters, and he's so good. I am so excited because that's right in line with what they chose him to play. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and the one I'm excited about, Clancy Brown. And for those who don't know who Clancy Brown, he played the guard in the Shawshank Redemption. And he's playing Black
guy in Pet Sematary 2. He played the creepy sheriff that tried to drill people's heads, and that's all I can see. Dark, what did you think about that?
I'm not going to lie. I did not see it. Also, I did not know who Ben Foster was until I just Googled him.
I just Googled it right now, too.
Thank you, Friza. I like that guy as an actor, and he does do really, really well in dark roles. He was the bad guy in that Mark Wahlberg movie. I can't think of the name right now, but he's a great actor. Hopefully they go far with the movie. There's a lot of expectations.
Speaking of Contraband.
Yes.
And I think the thing here, and this is what they talked about, and then we'll wrap up the movie portion of it. But the main thing that they talked about, Legendary, which is it's the production company, correct? They're the ones that took on the project. One thing that they did talk about, and what every representative at BlizzCon was very serious about, is making sure what they wanted to bring to the movie is the same thing we have in the game. Which side do you want to choose? Do you want to choose the Alliance? Do you want to choose the Horde? Pick a side, stand on it throughout the movie, and watch one of them be the victor throughout this epic tale. So they're bringing that same style of, I'm Horde or I'm Alliance into the movie so that it's leaving you with that question, maybe halfway through you see something you don't like on one side and you might swap and choose. They want you to be fully immersed in the Horde versus Alliance and the whole story that goes along with that. So they are taking that into consideration. I, for one, am excited to see our characters that we play every day, the lore. I'm excited to see it come to life, and it's something you can physically reach out and grab because it's semi-real in the effect of its actual people. So.
And you're able also to go to the two websites, remember. You have fightforthehorde.com and fightforthealliance.com. And they've got some promo stuff, some wallpapers, some pictures you can download. But, that's another thing. They're trying to play into that whole, pick your side, which one you're going to go with.
We're getting a little bit of feedback from... Oh, there it goes.
Where's that from?
I don't know who's got it. I think it
might...
Gone? Yep, it's gone.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. It sounded like a turbine. It's Fight for the Horde, Fight for the Alliance. There's a little download pack that you can download. It's just of the artwork from the movie that you can put on your computer's wallpaper. Make sure you guys go and check that out. PvP Championships. This was awesome for us to watch. It was nice, especially for those of us that do PvP, to see what it's really like, the intensity, and what these guys really put in. And I didn't know that it's $120,000 that you win. Hi, can I sign up for the 3v3 team on the road to BlizzCon? So if you find Dark Frieza and Bell on the road to BlizzCon, it's because I won $120,000 and I want to stand on that stage and say, I pwned your ass. So, but it was pretty interesting, and I know Frieza's barely getting caught up, and I know Dark, he's been watching it just as much as me, as did Lycan, because we were streaming it. I know Lycan has a breakdown. The ultimate here is Bleached Bones did beat Skill Capped, and I'm really sad because Three Amigos was my favorite, but Bleached Bones is a good second for me, and I'm really excited that they won. They were very intense, they were very good, and I know that Lycan has the breakdown of the brackets, right?
Yes, I do, actually. I have it pulled up right here. I was able to find that earlier today, thanks to help of Frisia. It's been a whirl the last 2 days, but as going into this, you had your favorites pulling ahead. You had Three Amigos. Everybody said it was going to be there. Skill Capped was supposed to be number one, and these teams were everybody behind it. When it came down to the semifinals, I mean, yesterday did the preliminaries. Today when they did the semifinals, you had who was it? It was Skill Capped EU versus Push Push, and Three Amigos versus Bleach Bones to start off the day. Thought for sure that Push Push was going to take it. At one point, they were 2-0. And I just got up and walked away. And now these guys looked like they had a blast. And they were just relaxed, have a good time. I walked away. I came back from my little breakthrough on the stream, and I said, oh, did Push Push advance? They're like, oh, no, Skill Capped won. They were able to come back from from being 2 down. And then Three Amigos put a good fight up, too, against Bleach Bones. Again, walking in, they got the crowd pumped. They were ready to go. They ended up dropping 3-2 as well. And you guys can go into individuals here in a minute, but final battle was between Skill Capped and Bleach Bones, and it was Bleach Bones all the way. They won best out of 7, 4-2. And again, Skill Capped very disappointed. I know Cetus from Skill Capped looked like he was ready to just explode as he walked off the stage. But it was definitely something interesting to watch. And the one little thing about Bleach Bones, remember, you don't have to be playing with these guys for years. They were, 6 months playing together?
Mm-hmm.
Less, probably.
It's all about the drive.
I think it was 3 months that they've been playing together.
What was really frustrating on a deeper level with Three Amigos is they were a shaman, a warlock, and a mage. That's how they qualified. That's how they advanced. That hit a little personal to us because Dark has switched over to doing shaman PvP next season, and Frieza's a mage, and I'm a warlock. To me, if you're telling me 3 of these people that these classes can go to the finals, I was excited about that, and that was the reason I love Three Amigos so much, is because it mirrored what we are and where we want to be, and that shows me that combination is a good combination. They switched it out, and that was their problem. The mage switched out for the monk, and it was all downhill from there. They never should have switched out from that monk. They should have left that mage, because that mage has got the burst. Doesn't matter if he has issues with self-survivability. That burst will take you down from 100% health to literally 1%, and then here comes the warlock to finish you off. I mean, really, it was a bad move on their part, and it was a bad call. That's what I think.
And how many times, Steven, Dark and I have watched it. I mean, he'll contest this. How many times we've seen him going down to, 10, 15% and bouncing right back up. Mm-hmm. And it was just a matter of that survivability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Sidu knows he's going to be the target in situations like that. They always swap over to the mage, and then once the healer's on him, just pop over to Sidu and just boom, 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 boom. And that's a lot of pressure, and I think their healer kind of dropped the ball on them repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Frieza? I mean, we are that combination. We want to be on that level, and I think that the monk was the undoing.
No, I would never go into. It's hard to say right at the moment because of I'm very traumatized, and I'm a mage, and but one thing I've noticed at the last expansion is that shamans were first targeted, especially if they were healer, because they can down them, and if you can make the chamois frustrated, make him feel vulnerable, he won't heal his teammates. He'll just try to stay alive. And that's what they did. They did it perfectly. I only seen highlights so far, but I did watch the first 2 games of the.
I think had they have had the mage, though, they would have had a fighting chance. I really do. They would advance to the finals with the mage.
I think what it is a lot of guys had druids, and they they really should have never went with the chamois. That's something they should have never done, in my
Both
opinion.
sides had a chamois.
I don't know.
But even
I don't know.
I'd say even watch that battle with the three amigos.
What did
it was Venruki was the one that decided to take the mage or the monk over the mage, and what was amazing is during the second battle that they had lost, he did a misclick, not a misclick, but he chose the wrong time to use his trinket out of a CC, and when he did, that lost the fight.
Was the bleached bones was Looney the chamois healer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how they went shamans.
And that's why I said both teams were shamans. And to me, and I think that just goes back to with PvP, it's not really about what classes you're choosing in your arena setting. It's about how well you play those classes. Both these teams advanced with shamans, and they played together with shamans, and it wasn't the shaman that lost it. It was the monk. So, and that's no dig at Three Amigos. I'm actually going to try to get them on the show, and hopefully they don't find out my trash talk about the monk.
That's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, Snuts is pretty epic. But we are going to move on so that we have time for the good stuff. We'll talk about the costume contest.
I wish I had more to talk about. I didn't watch all the games.
It's been a busy week for me.
Well, from what I saw, Snuts was not on his game today. He did not do the damage he normally did. When those Chaos Bolts went off, you didn't see that big health pool go out of nowhere. Right. Something was off with Snuts today, and on the WoW Twitch stream, even the fans that were watching from that were putting up in the chat bar, "What's going on with Snuts, man?" So it was definitely noticeable.
When he's on fire, he's unkillable. And then not only is he unkillable, then he becomes a total threat when he's on fire. So if he's not able to survive and he's trying his best just to survive during the game, he's not going to be able to put that power down. And that's what he was doing.
And what was interesting to me on the last point, and then we're going to switch subjects. It's interesting how as soon as the first one goes down, everybody says that the game is over. I don't know if does everybody give up? Because when we're playing, if one of us goes down, we've actually pulled off a win.
But not with these guys, no.
Yeah, no, but last week in the semifinals, I forget what team it was, one of them went down, and even the announcer guys, they were like, "Whoa, why'd the other guy quit? They still could have taken this," because two of the other team, their health was at 25%, two of them. And it is extremely doable. If you still have your healer and it's 2 versus 3, it might take a while, but with that type of health pool gone on the other team, you go for it.
Yeah.
We've done it with HOTS on our team. We've done it where I've gone down and Bell has taken over, and still with Frieza healing when he's on his
That's
druid.
True, we have. But I guess it's a different.
It would probably have to be in the first 30 seconds of that person dying.
Well, the other guy he logged off, I think purely out of frustration.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being like, no, we can still take this. I think he just got ticked off. Was like, oh, we lost.
These guys are also, I mean, one person out against some of the best people in the world. I mean, you kind of really don't stand a chance at that point.
So let's switch subjects so we're not on one side because we're already we're not on the time schedule. The costume contest. The good, the bad, and the really, really bad. Actually, the good, the bad, and the camel toe. I went there.
Moose knuckle.
I've heard about it, and I didn't see any costumes.
The costumes, some of this cosplay was amazing. I mean, even games we don't even play that Blizzard makes, the cosplay was amazing.
I'm looking at it right now.
The detail, the intricacy that they went into. But there was a winner. The winner was Calaxy, which was pretty awesome. Sadly, she broke her leg walking on stage. That's how dedicated they are with this cosplay. I do want to highlight the person who played.
So hold on.
The person who played Grom. Not Grom. It was Garrosh. Was it Garrosh or Grom?
It was Garrosh.
It was Garrosh, and it was a she. She had a balding cap on, and she had the worst camel toe I've ever seen in my life. And my question on the Twitch stream was this. You're with your friends at BlizzCon. You're dressed up. Your friends are telling you how awesome you look. Nobody told you had camel toe before you got on that stage. Nobody said maybe you should address the issue. I mean, come on. Really? Camel toe?
I'm trying to look for that. They're not showing that on the website.
I'll make sure I find it and I'll post it on the Facebook page.
Now, here's my thing. So, where was this? This was at a different building, correct?
Yeah, it was in a different hall.
And why did they not want to have it in the other one? Because of the insurance reasons. Because someone always hurts themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And they proved the point.
She totally broke her leg.
Was it a bad break? Like, what was? Did you guys all watch it?
It was because of the weight of her.
And it wasn't her.
Itself.
I think it was her ankle. Maybe it wasn't the full leg.
Yeah, it was her ankle.
Just watching.
You have to see her costume. It's not just cloth and like foam. Like
she was a freaking Calaxy, dude.
Yeah, she was decked out, and it was extremely heavy.
I can see everybody's here, but I don't see that.
If you go to our page, it's on the page talking about the costume winner.
She dressed as Grand Empress Shakespeare, and I'm reading on one of the articles, it says that it took a better part of 2 years to build this costume. So I mean that's just straight up dedication. Better than some of the ones that look like they came out in their pajamas. And I was
some of
very
these costumes
disappointed.
Are really cool, man.
And I'm gonna throw this in there too. I want to throw up a shenanigans with Blizzard. Very disappointed. I mean, we came out with Overwatch yesterday. If those of you don't know what it's a fantasy first-person shooter, new IP they came out with. And 2 people walked out on stage in Overwatch costumes. These weren't costumes that took an hour to put together. These, I want to say that they were employees.
They were employees. We have confirmation. Yeah. Aja did do research, and she did confirm. She even gave us the names of the employees. They were Blizzard employees. They are part of the creative team, the costume creative team. It was for the specific purpose of trying to plug Overwatch. My problem with that, which I think, like, and is your same problem, this is for the people. Why would you try to plug your bullshit in the middle of serious cosplayers that spend a better part of a year making their costumes to showcase at this event, and you're going to just kind of throw your middle finger up at their hard work by throwing some bullshit together for your new game because you want to make money? I'm not making any friends here. I'm sure a lot of people...
What did they do?
They had Blizzard employees dress up as Overwatch characters and pawn them off as cosplayers. Yeah, like they didn't say this is a Blizzard employee that we want to show off. It was pawned off in the middle of the other cosplayers as if they're competing.
Were the costumes any good? What were the costumes?
Well, nobody knows. Nobody's played Overwatch. Nobody can tell you if it's any good because we don't know what it is. Why would you showcase something we don't know about, right?
I can see the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole audience was like, who the hell are they supposed to be?
Just some random people.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have had no problem at the end of the cosplay selection while they're bringing out, saying they're going to get the contest. Here, look, this is some new cosplay ideas for next year. Yeah. And bringing out 2 of their employees dressed up in cosplay outfits. But they never prefaced them with saying, this is employee so-and-so. They just said, oh, well, look, this is so-and-so, and here's her outfit for Overwatch.
Literally, the whole crowd was like, who the fuck are these people? What are you doing on our stage? This is not anything related to Blizzard. And most of us had already watched the Overwatch drop when they dropped the news about Overwatch, but we didn't know what any of that crap was. We were like, what is this? So that's my rant about the costume. We can move on. That's my rant is over. I'm done. Now we can dive into the very last part of the news, which is Overwatch was dropped. Overwatch, for those of you that want more information, we're not going to put very much on our page about that. To be perfectly honest, you'll have to go to the other interwebs because we don't cover things that are not World of Warcraft. But let's just touch on it. Overwatch is a new game that's being launched December's the Goblins and Gnome expansion for Hearthstone.
They're talking spring of 2015.
Yeah, spring of 2015. You can sign up for beta if you go to battle.net/Overwatch. It's a shooter game, anime style, something different that Blizzard hasn't really done before. We'll probably all check it out, but that was the other news in BlizzCon. Everything else, BlizzCon as a whole was amazing. Metallica was awesome. We're going next year, guys. We're packing it up, and we are all heading. I don't care if we got to pitch a tent on the side of the road across from BlizzCon. We're going. It was really sad to see all these pictures, and we were not there. And I want to be with my friends at BlizzCon and hang out with my friends and wear scantily clad, really, really ugly cosplay because you don't dress for your body. I really want to be that person. I want to be that girl. I'm kidding.
It would be nice. It would be nice to be a little more famous before we go, too. It'd be really cool.
So I'm gonna go as a joke, like I mixed up Comic-Con and BlizzCon, and I'm totally going to go as Iron Man. That's great.
Like, what's funny is no one's going to tell you, dude. They'll be like, well, he's at the wrong place, but he's welcome here.
That's still pretty awesome.
So, a sad week this week for those of us that love Mists of Pandaria. The end of an era which Mists of Pandaria was the beginning of changing the face of WoW. It really was the beginning of Blizzard saying we are moving World of Warcraft in a larger direction. And when they released Mists of Pandaria, you were brought into this whole world of Pandaria and in this very enlightened, very spiritual map that you leveled through. And some of the most beautiful artwork that Blizzard has ever done. Now we're going to mourn the loss of Mists of Pandaria because everything's going to be all about the Iron Horde and all that moving forward. So we wanted the second half of the show to showcase the highs and lows, things we enjoyed about Mists of Pandaria, things we're going to miss, and just really pay a good tribute to something that I think really, really did start to pave the way for this new expansion, Warlords of Draenor. I think it moved it in that direction, obviously, with Grom and Garrosh. So I guess what we can do is we can just go one by one. Frieza, we can talk about what's your highs and lows of Mists of Pandaria?
Ooh, well, I could say the lows was pandas being added to the game. I hated that. I really did. I would say, what were the lows? I think the game was kind of the same as that I've always expected.
The lows was your mage.
I did play a mage for the first time in an expansion. I've been a warrior in every single expansion, and I chose a mage for Mists of Pandaria, and I liked it. I do like my mage. It is up for grabs now in WoD. It's hard to say what I'm going to do, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be a mage for a good portion of the expansion. If I like it, I'll just be a mage again. Man, that's a hard question. That's a deep question, the highs and lows of Mists of Pandaria. I mean, how long was it out? Do we know the exact time?
About 2 years.
2 years.
Which is usually the time it is for every expansion, isn't it? Somewhere around there?
Mm-hmm.
About 2 years. Well, a lot has happened. I mean, the dungeons... loved the dungeons, loved the music, loved the graphics, the whole gameplay, the storyline was kind of a little lame in the beginning, but when the Shaw came out, definitely made the game a lot more interesting. The raids constantly coming out, patches, I think they did a great job. I think they rushed the item level way too high right away.
They rushed the patch too soon. They dropped Siege of Orgrimmar way too soon in the expansion.
Yeah, and it jumped. The power of everybody just jumped, and it's crazy when you look at it because maybe it's always been like this. I mean, I don't recall it being a tank, but I don't remember in an expansion where you can kill a world boss. It takes everybody, a year, when it first comes out. For that whole year, that world boss is like the hardest thing to kill. And then a year later, in the same expansion, one Blood DK can go over there and solo him. Mm. I'm not sure it's been like that in every expansion. I just don't remember. So that was one thing I did notice about it was they never did keep the PvP updated with the PvP armor, because what happened was in the beginning of the new PvP games that came out, the tanks would take like 50 people to kill them, and you just constantly just keep killing the tanks, kill the tanks, or the siege engines or whatever. You got to do all this, and at the end of the expansion, you had one rogue killing the tank in 5 seconds, 6 seconds. So they did have a hard time keeping up with the power of people in the AI world.
It wasn't a good balancing act.
No, I think they just kind of gave up a lot of it. They kind of just said, "Oh, well, the tanks are going down in 5 seconds.
We're working on Warlords of Draenor, so we'll work that out then."
Again, they did a great job. I loved this game.
The season was a phenomenal season. You ended the season on top with the Mage, the Horde Mage.
I loved the last season. Was probably the best one. Well, no, not the best one rank wise, but but the funnest ones I got to play with my friends for the first time.
We are going to go hardcore. I do really, I learned something new about my Warlock in using the Fellhound instead in an arena scenario. Got very in-depth on why that, because both Warlocks in the championship today used the Fellhound, and I questioned why would they use the Fellhound.
I think they always use the Fellhound.
So Bell's going to switch it up, and I'm going to start being a lot more serious, and so is Dark. We really want to be, I don't want to say we want to be the best, but I think we want to be some type of
I want to be annoying to really good people.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to be involved in that intensity. Seeing the championships make me want to be involved in that intensity. I want to know what that feels like.
That's the thing, though, is, this is our hobby. This is what we do every day. Why not be really good at it?
I agree.
Those guys take it to the extreme level, but it would be nice to at least be somewhat that high where you can.
Did you have any lows of Miss Pandaria?
No, I would say that the rating for me was rough because I did get into the whole LFR thing because I wasn't into LFR and Kata. Right at the end, I missed out on that. So when Miss Pandaria came out, I dove into LFR, and I believe it ruined me. I'm definitely traumatized of entering a raid, and that is probably all my fault for only doing LFR. That is no one else's fault. That is not World of Warcraft's fault.
You're a raid casual, and that's okay.
And the problem is when I finally got a guild, they're like, let's go run raids, and I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't go back, man. It's like going back to Nam or something, I just I can't do it.
You have PTSD.
Yeah, it was
just hunting under a bed somewhere.
That's pretty solid. That in a whole entire expansion, your low was just the raid aspect. That's
the armor dropping was insane.
That would be PTRD, post-traumatic raid disorder.
That's a real thing. Don't joke about nothing. I think the highs would just be I got a lot of new friends in this expansion, a lot of real ones this time around. My last expansion, I didn't really have any. I had my brother and an old guild called Blackrock Depths or something, and that guild died. I joined Argent Dawn with my friends here, and I think it opened me up to a new game. This is the only expansion I believe I quit for 6 months though, so I was not involved for the TOT expansion for 6 months when TOT dropped. But I would say TOT was probably the best raid out of all of them. The most graphics. To me, the TOT had the best graphics.
I'll agree with that.
They had the best bosses.
I'll agree with that.
That's fair. I think it was awesome.
Fair assessment. I heard a rumor that Elida might be back. I'm just going to throw it out there into the interwebs, and I'm not going to say anything else about that. But there's a rumor floating around that it's a possibility in the future. So
there is a possibility.
So Elida, I know you're listening to this, and you already know what I'm saying. Because Belle said it, you already know what I'm saying, which means we'll see you soon.
And then that's about it. I can't really think of. That's a rough question. I'm obviously forgetting. So a lot of stuff that I think about.
One of us will remind you when we say it. I know that's going to happen.
So I guess that's it for now. I mean, I loved the dungeons. I loved one raid. The other raids all sucked. Again, that's from a very biased opinion. I'm a PvPer, so don't take it. I'm not ignorant, but I kind of never actually mastered these raids. But the PvP wise, I thought it was really cool, man. I think they did good on the armor all the way to the end. and then I started to use transmog, but usually the other ones were pretty good. But
interesting.
Go ahead, I'm done.
Interesting with Dark is I'm going to have him tell you his highs and lows. What's interesting about this is he came on during Miss Pandaria. For those of you who don't know, obviously he is my husband, as my name is on the side of his neck. I'm sure some people have put two and two together already. We would fight about World of Warcraft because I would be on the game, and he would be very frustrated because he's like, why aren't you spending your downtime with me? And I would say, leave me alone. This is what I do. This is me. Don't change me, was what I used to tell him. Stop trying to change me. And he would get really frustrated. So one day I said, how about you just try it? Just try it, see if it's something you can get into. Then we can do it together, and it'll be awesome. So I totally got him pumped up, and one day he said, fine, I'll try it. The twist here is he's a lot more intense than me at times now, and although it's difficult with children, we have to switch off who can raid and whatnot. So he didn't get to see, he's done all the content, but he didn't get to experience each expansion as it happened, and he didn't have to deal with the tale of woes of changes that we have all had to suffer through since I'm a BC baby. But so Dark highs and lows. Mr. Pandaria?
Well, seeing as how I had to level by myself with no help from someone that knew the game, it took me probably about 2.5 months to level my mage. And the only reason I picked a mage was because I could teleport. That was literally the only reason I picked a mage. And I didn't know anything. I didn't know what dungeons were, let alone what raids were. She had just started the Riders of Rohan. We didn't have a big raid team. It isn't until recently that we've gotten big at raiding. Well, me anyway, actually doing raiding. But highs, I think doing PvP, because once I did that with Frieza and Bell, I was hooked. It was like a drug, especially with the rankings.
They would stay awake hours after Belle would go to bed at 2 in the morning.
Yes.
It would be 5:30, 6 o'clock, and here comes dark rolling into bed. And I call Frieza the next day to do our Sunday all-day nerd out, and he's passed out because he was up all night cheating on me with my husband, as it were.
We moonlight.
They were moonlighting without me. So the highs was the PvP. Really? That's the. I mean, I guess.
Just because it's
opened you up to a new type of the style of the game.
It did, and it changed everything, because before then I was PvE, and to see the PvP side, everything's so different.
Yeah.
And I think in a way it kind of made me better at PvE, because it kind of makes you understand what your skills and talents actually do, instead of just breezing over it. Okay, it does this much damage, So I think PvP kind of made me a better player. Also regarding the lore, I love the lore of the Shah. They kind of kept it Chinese kind of folklore-ish with the Shah of Fear, and how they all consume you in different ways and all this stuff. I like that part of the lore. Now the downside of MOP, I'm going to have to say the elitists. Not exactly the elitists, but
Shots for shots.
Hots has helped me with a couple things, so I'm not going to say
we're not with her. We're not with Belle.
No, I joke. I tease Hots, and I call him an elitist, and he calls me a filthy casual. He really is not. He's an elitist.
Who helps people?
He's not an elitist. He's just heavy into himself.
Again, we're not with her.
I know. I'm kidding. He's not an elitist. He wants to be big into progression, and he wants to do it the right way. I tease him and call him elitist because he always does these guild tryouts, which for me equal rejection, and I'm not a fan of being rejected, which is why I don't do guild tryouts and all that weird stuff, because I don't like people telling me we don't like you. So I'm teasing. Hots, I know you're listening to this. I'm totally teasing you. Sorry, Dark, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Talk about your elitist Hots.
Yeah, not necessarily elitist. The people that tend to forget that not everyone has been playing this game forever. We still have people that their first time playing was a week ago. And you guys are being complete assholes and forgetting that you needed help at one point too. So the people that would join a raid and they mess up one little thing, they're kicked and ruin people's days, and the PvP part of it too. For instance, Battlegrounds. It's the only damn way you can get honor points to get PvP gear. So do not complain in the random Battleground that people aren't even effing geared for this.
Take your ass to the rated Battlegrounds, mofos.
How else are people supposed to get PvP? So shut the hell up.
Yep.
Get out if you don't like it. That's how people get PvP gear.
Get carried and pay for it.
And that's why
he
Blizzard
just did a Bell rant. What?
But that's why
that's a Bell rant.
Made the rated Battlegrounds, isn't it?
What?
Isn't that why they made rated Battlegrounds?
Yes, rated is a completely different portion of it, and they do it in random, and it is completely irritating, and they sound like idiots.
Exactly. You go with the flow in Battlegrounds.
You know what I say in instance chat? Tell me more about how you're the Battleground Pro.
Yep.
So that's the only that's a good low though. I'll give you that. That's a good low.
Gotta get high and low. I forgot about. So just real quick, sorry. I mean, just real quick. So I'm not gonna say the patch because I won't throw up when I talk about it. But,
Holy dramatic!
I remember in the beginning of the game, my mage, I was going fully normal gear almost, and I would go $1.5 million. 800,000, 700,000, $1.5 million. $1,800,000, then 900,000, 800,000. Boom, boom, just nonstop. Then a patch comes out. I read the patch, and the patch came out and said, you're going to get icicles above your head, and we're going to take away a lot of stuff, and we're going to change who you are as a person in real life. And they do all this, and I come back. I haven't quit yet at this point. I was just playing there, and I was playing, and then the patch comes out. I download it Tuesday. I get back on. 130, 200, 75,000, 120,000, 20,000. Icicles hit for 10K. I quit WoW for 6 months. That was the lowest part of World of Warcraft for me. You don't give me almost 2 million crits and take me down to 175,000.
But meanwhile, in that same patch, Warlocks could do 1.5 million crit in the one that you quit on.
Yes, they got stronger. I can't
do anything because I'm a warlock and I enjoyed that. So
warlocks were always
just
in the
recently,
top.
up until the squish, I was doing 2.5 crits. So I can't 2.5 million. I can't even.
That is like you don't know what the feeling is going from 2.5 million to 400K.
I do. I'm dealing with it now because of the stat squish, so I know what it's like.
Squish. But that was the lowest part of this game for me. The highest part. I'm still thinking about the highest part, but that was the lowest part.
Okay, good to know. Why are you spinning in your chair?
I'm worked up over that.
We brought it back up out of him, and he's very emotional.
We're gonna have Fry's quell the beast there because he's a little bit out of control. We might need to put him in timeout.
He's doing wall push-ups for God's sake.
Twerking. There might be twerking going on. Hang on. Stand by for confirmation of twerking. No confirmation of twerking. Let's talk about your highs and your lows.
Most of it I'm going to center around lore. Highs and lows outside of that, though. Really loved the raiding. Loved all, what was it, 1, 2, 3. We got 4 really major raids this expansion. The storylines behind them were great. I like going into it. One of the lows, as you know, and it's partially a high, too, is I did, lose the guild that I've been with it for about 3 years. That is a low part, but the high part that comes along with it, I was, gladly accepted in the Riders of Rohan, and I've definitely found a new home. So I'm happy with that. For the expansion, though, and everybody has been talking, first of all, they're talking down on pandas. Folks, pandas have been around since Warcraft started. They were around in Warcraft 3 when we had Chem Stormstout that used to run a couple campaigns with him in Warcraft 3. So, you know what? Pandas were there. They're a thing. Move on. Anyway. I did like the way they did this and the direction they took us with this expansion, amongst other ones. Every expansion we've had was, here's your boss, here's the bad guys, go kill them. Here's the boss, here's the bad guys, go kill them. To where we went in this expansion, it made us take a closer look at ourselves. And we see that with just about every character out there. And Dark and I were talking about this today on the podcast we were doing, the stream we were doing. You have Garrosh Hellscream, which, started from this whimpering little kid with daddy issues in Outland to, I want to rule the world type guy. And we saw that going up to Mr. Pandaria, but it really just exploded, of course, in Mr. Pandaria. Thrall, which has always been the peacemaker. You see him trying to mend the world after the events of the Cataclysm to coming back, and you're at the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, and if you haven't done the raid, I'm not even going to put spoiler out there, but, he goes and grabs Doomhammer, is ready to smash the skull of Garrosh laying on there, and you could see the rage and that bloodlust that he's done nothing all his life but fight. And then you have, Varian Wren, who's always been, screw the Horde, screw the Orcs, screw anybody that's not in the Alliance, kill them all, and I'm happy, going up to him and stopping Thrall. And he's taken even a closer look at himself, where he's taken that, I call it that animalistic side of him, where he had Logos was ripped out of him, and he was split into two different people, and was forced to fight in the arenas by the orcs. Now saying, basically, let's all have a big group hug, and why can't we be friends? And you see that, and I think that's where it ties in everything. We have the Shaw. Let's take a look at ourselves. Why are these energies inside us building up and causing our souls to be corrupted? The Shaw of anger and the Shaw of fear. We saw that with the cinematographics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now we had to take that step back to be able to move forward, because if you gave me another expansion right away, going, here's the main bad guy, here are all his minions, go kill them, it would get boring. So I really enjoyed the direction it went in. Love the fact that you could be a panda and you could be either, Pandaria and either be Horde or Alliance. I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
I'm not a big fan of the monks, but I love the whole monk storyline that was brought in with the Pandarians.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of great things. 6.0, not my best patch. I know it's kind of Warlord of Draenish, but I like the idea of walking around with 1.6 million. I'm sorry.
And I think they should have waited to release anything Warlord of Draenor until Warlords of Draenor. I think the Irontide patch should have been in Warlords of Draenor. Yeah. Don't ease us into some bullshit. Throw it all in at once so we can get used to that bullshit all at the same time. Because we're about to get used to some new bullshit, which is we can't fly in a whole other list of long things. So I feel like all the bullshit should have just been served to us in one giant bowl and not in mini spurts. I get why they do it. They want people to adjust to some of the larger changes before the expansion so people can focus on that. That was a really good high and a low.
I'm not. One more thing, I'm not gonna be ashamed to say I shed a tear on 6.0 day, and I logged in the next morning and I was at 145,000 health. I almost cried.
It's a little sad.
Yeah.
A little sad.
I know.
Awesome.
I know the feeling.
My highs and my lows, and before I do that, I'm going to, as the guild master of the Riders of Rohan, I want to say, without speaking anybody's names or anybody's situation, gaming and being part of a guild is a camaraderie and a brother and sisterhood that you have with fellow gamers. It's not who can fill the guild coffers first, who can be a certain way. A guild is a beautiful thing, because when I started my guild a year and a half ago, it was just five of us. People signed the guild charter and then left. It was just 5 of us, and it's grown to 500 members. And these are people that are involved in my day-to-day life. Some of them have taken their mains and moved to a different guild that was in progression where we weren't at the time. Some of them moved different tunes to different servers. Never have I ever, as a guild master, said, I'm kicking all your other tunes out. If you don't have them all, you can't have none in the guild. Because to me, gaming is about gaming and being happy where you're at. I don't force anybody to do any certain thing in the guild. I'm a little bit disappointed in Lycan's situation, because from one guild master to another, I expected better of this guild master. I expected this guild master to stand for all of his people and to handle it the way that a guild master is supposed to handle things. I felt like it was handled tactless. It was dirty, the way that it happened. And instead of saying, you know what, you might be happier taking one of your tunes over here, and we support you because you've carried my entire guild through tanking to gear up all of my guys. I would think that guild master would want their guildie to be happy no matter what they were doing. I have always made it my place as a guild master. We help all other guilds. I don't hate any other guild. I am friends with other guild masters. I am about you being happy in your gameplay. I don't care if you're in my guild, you're in Johnny on the Spots guild. I don't care we have an ally guild. It's my good friend Ty's guild. His guild's mostly PvP. The guild is called Shameless. We've had instances where he's lost a member and the member came to my guild, not because I recruited him, but because he knows we can go back and forth and there's no bad blood between me and Ty because you're gaming. Don't be bitter. Be happy that you're gaming. Be happy that the other person's gaming. That's all I wanted to say, because this is something that weighs heavily on my heart, because I know the feeling of being booted from something that you had a hand in, and you feel a rejection. You feel like you weren't good enough for them to fight for you. I understand all the feelings because I've been there myself, but shame on you. I know some of the people in the guild watch this, and I hope you tell that guild master that Belle said shame on you. I hope you do a long self-reflection, and I really hope you feel bad, because you guys lost a good one. You really did lose a good one. But the great news is I will reap the benefits. I will reap the benefits of your poor choices. I will reap the benefits.
It's funny. It's funny how you mentioned you don't hate other guilds, because for me, when I was in Honey Badgers, we ranted on everybody else.
There are some guilds that I dislike. I won't lie about that. But I never steal other members. I always say bring an alt into the guild or whatever if I want you to be a part. I don't steal members.
Can I say this, though? I think it would be really cool. I'm going to go off subject. I'm going to say it would be really cool, like Clash of Clans in many ways, where you can find somebody of that guild and say, hey, buddy, let's duel 100 guild bank gold right now.
There's a game called Red Moon that me and Dark used to play, and you did have guilds. They were called they were armies, and I had an army. I was a guild master or an army master, and my army was called Nemesis. Bella Sang was my name. And you would challenge for an army hall, because you would have an army hall with money in that army hall and items, and you would challenge, and there would be this massive war of all these players in the army hall, and there would be pew, 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 and it was epic.
I think it would be really cool to have somewhat of a clique walking around Orgamore, and you were like, anybody wants to duel us for gold? You know what I mean? I find that cool, because if you were to leave that place because they made you mad, you could join your rival and be like, hey, I know these guys hang out. I know their issues. I think it'd cause a lot of drama, and Americans love drama. So
walking down the street, or Stormwind, and having people just get out of your way.
So now my highs and my lows. Sorry about that intermission. It was something I had to speak about, because if I didn't get it out, it was going to come out in a really negative way. And it's better that I say it very well spoken in representing my guild, instead of saying it in a not so nice Bell fashion. Anyway, my highs and my lows, man. The low was when I started Miss Pandaria with no friends. Everybody knows that I was very casual in my gameplay in Burning Crusade. I took a break because I had children. I unsubbed right after Lich King. I played through a little bit of Lich King, and then I unsubbed and came back halfway. I came back actually 4 months before Miss Pandaria was scheduled to drop. Came back. The Warlock woes of everything being different. When I left, I came back, and Kata it was wrecked, and not wrecked in a bad way. The damage was still there, but I didn't know anything about her. I'm like, who is this person I just logged into? And I didn't have any friends, because, when I started, nobody brought me to the game. I didn't have somebody say, come play with me. I seen a game that was similar to the game style play I like, and I tried it. I didn't have a guild. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have nobody to take me in instances back when you had to walk to the instance when you're a group. I didn't. My Siri's talking. That was really creepy. I don't know what you mean by you don't have any friends, is what Siri just said on my phone.
Is it really just talk back to you?
Siri said, I don't know what you mean you don't have any friends.
Your phone, wow.
I'm a little embarrassed because that was kind of awkward. I didn't have anybody to hang out with. So what happened is Miss Pandaria, I really sat down and said, this is something I want to be serious about. I want to be in this game. And I left servers. I was on a PvP server, Natherzine. Argent Dawn was where I landed. I closed my eyes and I just clicked. And I created a tune on Argent Dawn. The first 2 days I loved it. People were like, hi, do you need any help? I mean, it was so... I can't even tell you. I'm going to tear up because I can't even tell you how I remember my husband coming home from work, and I'm like, I have friends. I have people. There's people that are talking to me. I'm in a guild. I'm interacting. Do you remember that, Dark? I was so excited. And one thing led to another, and I ended up creating a guild because I had a lot of good friends that stood behind me, and ultimately I got tired of guild politics, and I wanted the guild to go back to what it should have been always, which is a brotherhood and a camaraderie and a common goal, and a place where you could be yourself without insulting others, and a place where if you needed help, hey, can somebody help me with this? And that's what our guild is based on. The lows was for sure being alone and not experiencing. The high was that moment when I get introduced because of girls who play WoW to a little thing called Pwnecast, and that one single event of me being on an episode of Pwnecast completely changed my life. I say it every day, I'm blessed, because every day I get to be with my best friends. I don't have real life best friends, guys. I do, but I don't, because they're not people that are in my everyday, because they're people that are not part of my life because they don't They don't embrace what I embrace. It's too much different. I have guys here that know my game. They know me personally. They see my kids on Skype. They wave to my children. We wave to their children. They know more about me than some of my family members. And to me, you can't replace that. And it was a game that did that. They talked about that in the Looking for Group video. It was a game that was responsible for that. To me, that's epic. I got to meet Frieza. We met up in Texas, and you would have never have known we didn't meet before. You would have thought that we were brother and sister, and it was so natural that it's one of those moments where you say, they would be like, are you creeped out? You're going to go meet some guy? How does your husband feel about that? First of all, my husband knows I only have eyes for him. Second of all, him and my husband are best friends. So, I mean, he didn't have a problem with it because him and my husband are best friends. And I brought a lot of good people along for the ride. The day Eli brought me on the show was literally the day that changed my life. And since then, World of Warcraft has been an engulfing, immersed experience. And I get to be with the people that I love every day in a game that I love. With that kind of slightly Moish moment,
I got my high now, by the way.
You did get your high? Are we in your high? But that's
go ahead and finish what you're saying.
My high is when I found my brothers in arms. I found people that love what I love, and they laugh at my stupid jokes, and they make fun of me when they need to, and they've seen me without my hair done. They've seen me just rolling out of bed on Skype. They've seen me at my worst, and even though they've seen me at my worst, they're different than my family because they still love me at my worst, whereas most family doesn't. So it's a very humbling thing, and I get to be involved in Pwnecast, which it's a good thing. So that's my highs and lows. I'm really sad to say goodbye to Mr. Pandaria. I'm sure we'll be back on the journey with Mr. Pandaria when we have to level, when we decide we want to roll an alt as future stuff comes out. But it's the end of something that was epic. Mr. Pandaria by far was my favorite expansion. And it wasn't for any other reason other than that's when I really started to live in Azeroth. I really started to live in the world and in the people. So that's my high and my low.
I got my high here. So it'll be a quick story. I'm gonna go somewhere with this.
In a pipe before
I'm gonna go somewhere with this. Let me finish.
Okay. I'll let you.
So I'm with Pandaria. Ben, my brother, kind of went AWOL for a lot of the Miss Pandaria. So I met a guy named Reckless. And Reckless, probably one of the first hardcore players that I've met in World of Warcraft, and we have literally been in the most epic Horde versus Alliance battles in the world, and it was absolutely insane. I used to so many times would I go to the Outlands 2 a.m. by myself, and this is how we met. I'm not sure. And I remember being out there in the Outlands, and I type on there, need help, just got killed. And the second I type it, this guy named Reckless would pop out of nowhere from above and find me. Then we ended up becoming friends, and then we would have these battles against Alliance, and we would dominate Alliance all day long. It was kill, Alliance. It was all about. It was about nothing else. World of Warcraft raids didn't exist, dungeons didn't exist. It was go to cities, kill Alliance, kill lobbies, kill everything you see that has red blood. You kill it, and that's what it was about. Now I'm going somewhere with this. Stay with me. So then, in the middle of that, the honey badgers completely disintegrate. That whole guild completely goes away. I'm sitting there bored on my computer every day, and I'm walking around Orgrimmar. You know, I believe in my last episode I said with my thumb up my butt, and was just completely bored out of my mind. Reckless, he quit WoW for a while, and then my brother wasn't playing WoW, just not doing nothing. Then I had a friend named Samantha, I guess, and I played with them. I played against you guys in Altitude Valley multiple times, because that's the only time we can ever play each other. And one day, I made an Alliance character. The opposite in 2 years. I literally went from completely murdering Alliance people and becoming one of them. And
when you can't beat them, you join them.
And that's what it came. That's what it came down to. So my highest point was making an Alliance character. And finding Reckless was probably really, really good.
I like Reckless, so I'm gonna agree. He's a pretty badass paladin. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna say there's too high. There's too high. Yeah, he's like the best paladin.
Yeah, he really is.
I met Reckless, and then I made an alliance character to play with my friends, and I would have quit WoW again because I was so bored. I didn't want to play WoW no more. If I never made an alliance character, I would have quit WoW.
We rolled hard.
And now I love the game again. I absolutely love this game again. I get to play with friends. It's on Alliance. It's sad, but to me, it's like
why such hate though? I love Horde players. They make a nice soft cushion.
I knew that's where he was going with that. I knew it.
We're done.
Wow.
No, I still don't like the Alliance, but I like to play with my friends more than I like the Horde.
So I know this is impromptu, but Fries, I don't suppose you happen to have those gauntlet questions handy, do you? We have about 2 minutes before we need to seriously wrap it up because we're over time. Are they anywhere on your computer?
Yeah, they are. But he's seen the show. He knows all the questions.
Oh, he doesn't listen to the gauntlet. He watches about 30 minutes of the show and
Wait, I'm going through the gauntlet?
Hi, you're a guest.
Oh my god.
You thought because we were married and we swapped fluids that possibly it was going to be different? No, sir, you are doing the gauntlet.
I was hoping
I found my resume.
The gauntlet is an Elida tradition that I expect to uphold because when Elida comes back, the first thing he's going to say is, why the fuck weren't you doing the gauntlet? And I am not going to piss him off. So
I'm going to fail.
We could either let Fraser ask you the gauntlet questions, or I could come up some really
No, you could take a nap, Lycan. You could take a nap.
All right, I got him. I found him.
Oh my god.
Okay. To all the fans, they do listen. They will know the questions right away. But to you, probably it's going to be interesting to see how much you remember.
Let me get the. Hold on. We're going to give 60 seconds.
You about to get stumped, son.
Is this MOP based?
It's all based.
It's all based.
Oh,
yeah.
But you've done. You should know.
Shoot me in the face. Right.
The last two people we had did amazing.
Okay, we're gonna do.
Everyone's been playing longer than I have.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Cue the gauntlet music.
After the first question ends, then there's the.
Yes, and if you don't know it, pass so that you can get to more questions. Okay, ready? Start now.
Who is the first panda you meet in this Pandaria that tells you about the history of your ancestors?
Oh my god. It's Go.
Who is King Varian's son? What's his name? Pass?
Oh, good lord. It's
You might as well pass because you're taking
pass.
What are the two names of the two shrines?
7 stars and 2 moons.
It's not a trick question.
What are the panda tribe called that defend Pandaria?
That defend Pandaria?
What is their tribe called?
Seriously? all that's going through my head is like the August Celestials, the Shadow Pan Monster, like all that crap.
Name the Shah in the Siege of Orgrimmar.
In the Siege of Orgrimmar? Shaw of Anger? No, Shaw of Pride.
I can't give it. Name the Shah in the Temple of the Jade Spirit. First Shah you see.
Temple of the Jade Spirit?
Yeah.
That's Shaw of Anger?
Your time's up.
I don't know. I didn't do a lot of Pandaria stuff.
Imagine you started in Pandaria and you didn't do a lot of Pandaria stuff.
No.
What did he get wrong and right because we're already 10 minutes over?
He got 1, 2.
What did he tell him the answers of what he missed?
And 3. It's Lord Walker Cho. I gave him the credit because he said Cho. King Varian, it's Anduin.
Oh, I knew that one.
Worm, whatever it is, Ren. Whatever. What is the panda tribe called that defend Pandaria? That's the Shadow Pan.
Yeah.
And what else did I say? I said
it's the two shrines. 7.
Oh yeah, the Shah in the Siege of Orgrimmar is the Shah of Pride. You got that one right. Mm-hmm. And then the name the Shah in the Jade Spirit is the Shah of Doubt.
It is the Shah of Doubt.
I don't think I've done that one.
Is that the first Shah that you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I did that one.
What?
Yes, you have.
Yeah, you have. It's like
He
the first dungeon you do at level
He
60.
I didn't dungeon when I got to Pandaria.
No, you have to.
He's dungeon for Valor. He's lying.
Yeah,
Don't believe
he's
him.
done at least doing it once.
I will go over there,
But
right?
to get, but to
Hey,
get,
the door's open. It's the very last boss. The door's open, and he's sitting inside. It's also the same place you
Oh.
go inside.
That's not him.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not him.
No.
He's the one that you find in the Shabdao is. No, that's not him, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the Temple of Jade Spirit.
Yeah.
Who's the
And
one
then
that you fight?
your
when
doubted
you go
spirit
Jade
comes
Serpent.
out.
You go down the stairs
Yeah,
and you fight another one, not through the doors.
the one you're talking about, the Shaved Out, is through the doors. It's the very last boss of the Temple of the Jade
I
Serpent.
thought the Shadowpan Monastery was the one that has the doors.
Nope.
No.
Oh, I'm confused. I got to look back.
So
I'm good. I'm good because the Shah Monastery has a Shah of Violence, which is the one I'm thinking of.
Yes.
I'm good.
Right.
Yep, Shaw Violence is what you're thinking of. What a great expansion. We're really excited. Next week we are going to be doing on our Twitch stream. We're going to be twitching live at 1 o'clock in the morning, our time, which is Mountain Standard Time. Whenever the expansion hits and whenever it officially drops is going to be 3. We're doing the business here. We're going to be on Twitch for the 24-hour stream just to entertain you in the background. You can pop us up on your second monitor or pop us up in the browser and just listen to us while you're going through so that you have friends to go through the expansion with if people aren't online. We're going to do it as we do everything here at Pwnecast and the Writers of Warhammer. We're going to do it as a team and as friends. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you subscribe, twitch.tv/Pwnecast. Make sure you check out our website, pwnecast.net. Make sure you also like us on Facebook, which if you're watching our YouTube, you probably already do like us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some feedback. Let us know if you have any questions.
Comment.
Comment on the videos. Comment on the... That's a great idea. If you've watched this all the way to the end, comment on this video right now what your high and low of Pandaria is. Let's see if we could generate a little bit of discussion, and let's celebrate the awesome expansion that Miss Pandaria was, and let's celebrate that Thursday is a whole new world of Warcraft. Man, this was a really great show. Thank you, Dark, for being on the show. It was a pleasure. We didn't have a Lycan's Corner today, and that's in large part because we needed to cover a lot of material, and we didn't have another guest, not an actual, like, you're not important, but we didn't have another guest on the show because it was the end of an expansion, and we wanted to do something special. We missed you, Spam. Wish you would have been here. Don't know what you were doing or where you were, but I'm pretty sure as soon as we end this, I'm going to figure out where you were because you're probably already in chat telling us where you're at. Thank you guys for joining us, and like I said, hit us up on any of the media means. Comment on this video right now. Stop what you're doing, hit pause, comment on the video your highs and lows in Miss Pandaria. Comment, comment, comment. When you comment on this video, we will respond back, we promise. I want to see, Friza wants to see, Lycan, Dark, everybody wants to see. Thank you for showing up, and a shout out to everybody that we've ran this week. We've ran with this week, the new friends. We've had a blast, so that's all for us, folks. That's it. Nobody has anything else. We're done.
See you in Warlords.
See you the next time you see us, we will be in Warlords fighting the Iron Horde. Epic. Bye. I look weird when I do that. I'm going to stop. Stop right now.